The sky above Corella 7 was red. Not because of sunset, but because of fire. Fire from space. Explosions lit up the atmosphere as Zark Dominion ships rained destruction down on the colony. Buildings crumbled, towers fell, sirens howled through the dust and smoke. Aran Vel, a young Valari engineer, stood on a broken platform near the entrance of the old mining tunnels. His clothes were torn, and his blue skin was stained with ash. Around him, civilians ran for cover. Children cried. Medics rushed injured people to the underground shelters. The Valari had once believed they were safe. The alliance of peaceful worlds had promised protection, but that promise had died weeks ago when the Zark invaded their outer colonies. One by one, those colonies fell. Now Corella 7 was the last one left. There were no warships in the sky, no help from command, no word from the capital. The communication arrays had gone silent after the first orbital strike. Aaron tried to fix them, but the damage was too deep. "They're not coming, are they?" asked Lyra, a nurse who had been helping him since the first week of the invasion. Aaron didn't answer. He couldn't lie. Everyone knew the truth. The Valari had been abandoned. The remaining defenders had gathered deep inside the mining complex. These were not soldiers. They were miners, engineers, medics, and farmers. Most had never fired a weapon before. Now they were using old mining equipment to fight. The tunnels had become their home, and their last hope. Inside the command room, which was once a storage bay, Aaron placed a broken helmet on the table. "We lost another scout team," he said. A silence filled the room. Joran, a former security officer, nodded slowly. "The Zark are pushing harder. They want to crush us before anyone else finds out." "But who will find out?" Lyra said. "We haven't sent a message in days," Aaron sighed. "I've been working on the old emergency transmitter. It's deep underground in the tech bay near Shaft 3. If I can bring it online, maybe we can send one last signal." Joran raised an eyebrow. "And who do you think will hear it?" Aaron didn't know, but he had to try. That night, Aaron climbed down Shaft 3. The air was hot and heavy with dust. He passed sleeping refugees, families huddled under makeshift blankets. Some looked up at him with tired eyes. Others didn't move at all. He reached the tech bay. Most of the systems were dead, their panels broken or blackened from surges. But the old human-made transmitter still stood in the corner. The Valari had bought it long ago, second-hand from a trading post. Most called it useless, but it was human tech. Old, powerful, and strange. Aaron wiped the dust off the console. The screen flickered. He connected his small power cell to the core. "Come on," he whispered. "Just give me one signal." The machine hummed. Lights blinked. Static filled the room. He entered a short message. "Emergency, this is Corella 7. We are under attack. No ships, no command, civilians trapped. Please, if anyone hears this, help us." He pressed send. Then he waited. Nothing came back. Still, the machine kept repeating the message, sending it through space again and again, hoping someone, anyone, would listen. Far above the planet, the Zark warships circled like vultures. Their weapons were silent for now. They believed the Valari were finished. Their leader, Commander Threx, watched from the bridge of his flagship. "They hide in holes," Threx said. "Like animals." A junior officer asked, "Shall we begin the final sweep?" Threx nodded. "Yes, end it. Burn them out." The officer bowed and left. Back underground, Aaron returned to the command room. "I sent the message," he said. "I don't know if it worked." Lyra smiled weakly. "You did what you could." Joran looked at the screen showing the upper tunnels. Red, lights blinked, movement, the final attack had begun. "Then this is it," he said. "Everyone to battle positions." Aaron looked around at the tired defenders. Some held makeshift weapons. Others had mining tools. One old man carried a pipe as a club. They didn't look like an army, but they had something the Zark would never understand: hope. In a small room, a mother hugged her child. In another, an old engineer whispered a prayer to the stars. In the tunnel gates, defenders placed explosives and traps. Aaron stood beside Joran. Even if help comes, it might be too late. Joran put a hand on his shoulder. Then we make sure someone lives to see them arrive. Outside the tunnel, Zark soldiers marched forward in dark armor. The sky above glowed red once more. The last bastion was about to fall. But deep in the void, far beyond the stars, something stirred. A machine older than most civilizations. A ship, hidden in the silence of space. Alone, but watching. The UNS Vengeance rising. It heard the message, and it was coming. Far away from Corella 7 in the cold and empty space between stars, floated a quiet machine. It had no crew. It had no light. It had only one job, to listen. This was Listening Post Echo 9, an old human satellite, hidden deep in a dead zone. It had been asleep for years, just drifting. Then one day something changed. The machine caught a signal, weak, broken, but not random, a message. Emergency. This is Corella 7. We are under attack. No ships, no command. Civilians trapped. Please, if anyone hears this, help us. The signal repeated over and over. The satellite systems woke up slowly. Old software blinked online. A red warning flashed. High urgency signal. Human response required. The signal was logged and sent into deep relay. And somewhere else, much farther, much darker, a giant ship opened its eyes. The UNS Vengeance Rising was a warship from another time. Once part of Earth's most powerful fleet, it had been forgotten after the Sol collapse when humanity lost contact with the rest of the galaxy. The ship had wandered alone for decades, powered by a deep space AI core. Its captain, Inez Rocha, was one of the last living humans in active duty outside Sol space. She had stayed with her ship while others retired, ran, or gave up. She sat in the command chair staring at the old, flickering screens. Her hair was silver now. Her uniform was patched. Her eyes were sharp. When the alert came, she was drinking recycled coffee and staring into the void. The message appeared on her screen. Emergency. This is Corella 7. She leaned forward. Where the hell is Corella 7? She asked. Her ship's AI, called Cutter, answered in a calm voice. Mining colony. Valari territory. Under attack by Zark Dominion. Estimated survival window, 36 hours. Zark? Rocha said, frowning. I thought they signed that peace treaty. They broke it, Cutter replied. Rocha stood up slowly. Her bones ached, but her heart felt alive for the first time in years. Plot a course. To Corella 7? She smiled for the first time in weeks. Yes. Let's wake the beast. Back on Corella 7, Aaron sat near the transmitter. It still blinked, still sent the signal again and again. He had no way of knowing if it worked. Outside, the tunnels shook from enemy fire. Dust fell from the ceiling. People coughed and covered their faces. Lyra brought food, just a few protein bars, and sat beside him. I heard the outer gate fell, she said softly. Aaron nodded. We have maybe 1 or 2 days left, that's it. You think your message reached someone? I hope so. They sat in silence for a moment. Then Aaron asked, Have you ever heard stories about the humans? Lyra tilted her head. Only from the old books. They disappeared after their home system collapsed. Most people say they're gone. My grandfather used to say humans were wild, Aaron said. Dangerous, but loyal. If you were their friend, they would fight like fire to protect you. Lyra smiled sadly. Then I wish we had one here right now. Light years away, the UNS Vengeance Rising began to move. Its engines glowed bright blue. Its weapons warmed up. Its crew, what little was left, took positions. Most were drones or old AI units, but they still followed orders like it was the height of the war. Captain Rocha stood in the center of the bridge. We'll need to jump through 3 systems, she said. Confirmed, said Cutter. But be warned, fold space travel at this speed is unstable. Rocha gave a sharp nod. Doesn't matter, we're doing it. What shall I send back to the signal origin? Rosha thought for a moment. Then she said, Send this. Hold on. Help is coming. Back in the tunnels, Aaron's screen blinked. He rubbed his eyes. At first he thought it was a glitch, but then he saw the message. Hold on. Help is coming. His heart skipped a beat. Lyra, he shouted. Come here, look. She ran over and stared at the screen. Her mouth dropped open. Is it real? Yes, someone heard us. He ran to the main command room. Joran was talking to the defense teams, but Aaron interrupted. We got a reply, he said. Someone is coming. The room fell quiet. For real? Joran asked. Aaron nodded. It was short, but I'm sure it was human. Joran's face changed. He stood straighter. Then we hold the line. If help is coming, we must give them something to save. He turned to the others. Everyone, prepare defenses. Set more traps. We make every step hell for the Zark. Cheers erupted. For the first time in weeks, the defenders felt hope. In orbit above Corella 7, Commander Threx looked at the battlefield map. The defenders are resisting harder than expected, his officer said. Threx frowned. Why? No idea, but they've fortified the inner tunnels. Threx grunted. It doesn't matter. We crush them tomorrow. Then a red alert flashed on his screen. Unidentified ship detected. High-speed approach. What? Threx growled. Where? The officer's eyes widened. From deep space, a direct fold point jump. This is impossible. Threx leaned closer. Then he saw the ID tag. UNS Vengeance Rising. His eyes narrowed. Humans. He laughed, but it wasn't a happy laugh. I thought they were extinct. The stars near Corella 7 began to ripple. Fold space opened like a wound, and something huge came screaming out of it. A ship. Old. Angry. Human. Space above Corella 7 turned dark. Darker than night. A strange silence fell. Even the Zark warships paused. Their sensors picked up something strange. The stars behind the planet flickered, then disappeared. In a flash, a giant ship tore through, fold space like a knife through paper. It came fast, hot, and loud, pushing shockwaves ahead of it. The ship roared into orbit, its engines glowing like suns. It was not a ship the Zark had seen before. It was long, black, and covered in scars. Its armor looked old, but strong. Its weapons were huge. The side of the ship had faded letters. UNS. Vengeance Rising. Inside the ship, Captain Inez Rocha stood firm on the bridge, her eyes locked on the planet's surface. She saw the burning cities, the broken defenses, and the Zark fleet surrounding it like hunters around a wounded animal. Scan. All enemy ships, she said. Her voice was calm but full of fire. Target the largest one first, her AI cutter replied. Zark command ship located. Designation Bloodfang. Orders? Rocha didn't blink. Kill it. The Vengeance Rising fired. There was no warning. No countdown. Just pure silence, followed by sudden destruction. A single kinetic rod, a metal spear dropped at near light speed, fell from the warship and struck the Bloodfang. In less than 2 seconds, the Zark command ship exploded. Fire and metal spread in all directions. The shockwave hit 2 nearby ships, tearing them apart. The rest of the Zark fleet panicked. Down on the surface, Aaron was staring at the sky through a cracked monitor. He watched the stars twist. Then, saw the flash. Then the explosion. Is that them? Lyra asked, standing behind him. Aaron nodded slowly. That's the humans. Joran, now in full armor, entered the room. I don't believe it. They just destroyed the Zark command ship in one shot. Aaron turned to him. Then let's fight harder. Buy them time. They won't let us fall. Joran grinned. You heard the man. Everyone. Hold the line. We're not dying today. Back in space, the Zark ships scattered, but the Vengeance Rising chased them. One by one, the human warship targeted and fired. Its weapons were old, but deadly. Missiles, lasers, railguns, all working together like a perfect machine of war. Captain Rocha watched without emotion. They're running, Cutter said. Let them. Rocha replied. We didn't come to talk, we came to save. Planetary defenses? Cutter asked. Prepare drop pod. I'm going down. Cutter hesitated. Captain, the surface is unstable. There are still Zark forces in the tunnels. That's why I'm going, Rocha said. Prep my suit. An hour later, a massive drop pod broke through the sky like a falling star. It burned through clouds and slammed into the rocky plains near the tunnel entrance. Zark ground troops ran to the site, thinking it was a crash. The pod door exploded outward. A team of autonomous human drones, shaped like armored beasts, came. Out first, firing plasma rounds, taking cover, moving fast. Then came Captain Rocha, walking slowly through the dust in a heavy exosuit. Her armor was black and silver, with the symbol of Earth on her shoulder. The Zark opened fire. Rocha didn't flinch. Her armor absorbed the shots. She raised her weapon and fired once. 3 Zark soldiers fell. The rest ran. Underground, Aran's communicator beeped, he answered. A human voice came through. This is Captain Rocha of the United Nations ship Vengeance Rising. Who's in command down there? Aaron blinked. I'm Aaron Vell. I lead the engineering and communication team. Joran leads security. We've landed near your tunnels. We're moving in to assist. Hold your line. Help has arrived. Aaron smiled wider than he had in weeks. We'll open the blast doors. Joran and a team of Valari defenders stood near the entrance, waiting. They watched the doors slide open. Smoke filled the air. Then through the smoke walked a human, tall, armored, unshaken. Captain Rocha stepped forward. Joran lowered his weapon slowly. You're real, Rocha nodded. We heard your call. Are there more of you? Not yet, she said. But we're enough. In the next few hours, the tunnels changed from a place of fear to a place of hope. Human drones patrolled the halls. Medics treated the wounded. Engineers fixed the broken comms. Aaron stood beside Rocha, showing her the damage. They hit us hard. We've lost many. Rocha looked around. You held them off without an army. That's brave. Aaron looked down. We didn't have a choice. You did, Rocha said. You could have run, but you stayed. He met her eyes. Would you have run? Rocha smiled. Never. Above the planet, the last Zark ship tried to flee. But the Vengeance Rising didn't let it escape. It fired one last shot. Silence followed. Then, peace. For the first time in weeks, Kirella 7 was safe. Later, in a meeting room deep underground, Aaron asked Rocha, Why did you come? We're not humans. We're not part of Earth. Rocha leaned forward. You called for help, she said. That was enough. In another part of the galaxy, Zark leaders watched the reports in silence. They saw the footage, the destruction, the message: humanity has returned, and they were afraid. News of the battle at Kirella 7 spread fast. Across quiet colonies, deep in trading posts and through secret rebel networks, people watched the footage again and again. A single human warship tearing through a powerful Zark fleet. A lone captain in black armor walking through smoke. The return of a name thought lost: humanity. No one believed it at first. Some said it was fake. Others whispered that it was a ghost. But the survivors of Kirella 7 knew the truth, and they told everyone. Captain Inez Rocha stood on a small platform inside the underground chambers of Kirella 7. Around her were miners, engineers, children, and elders, all Valari. They looked at her with wonder, with hope, some even with tears. We came because you asked for help, Rocha said, her voice steady. And we stayed because you fought with heart. She paused. You are not alone anymore. There was silence, then sudden clapping. Cheers. Some pounded, fists to chests in respect. Joran, standing beside Aaron, leaned close and said, She knows how to wake up a dead world. Later that night, Aran sat with Captain Rocha in the command room. He offered her tea from the ration packs. It wasn't much, but it was warm. You gave us hope, Aaron said quietly. Rocha nodded. I came to fight, but you were already fighting. I just made sure you survived it. I've already received messages from 3 nearby colonies, Aaron continued. They're asking, is it true? Did humans really return? What did you say? Aaron smiled. I told them yes. And they're angry. Rocha chuckled. It was a low, tired laugh. Good answer. Far away, in the deep throne world of the Zark Dominion, fear had begun to grow. High Commander Zarlex, leader of the Eastern Fleets, slammed his clawed hand on the table. Impossible, he shouted. One ship, one. An aide trembled before him. But it was human, Commander. Their war tech is ancient but still powerful. They destroyed Bloodfang in seconds, Zarlex hissed. Then we will destroy them. Prepare my battle, group. If the humans have returned, we will erase them before they rise again. But what of the peace treaty? Forget the treaty, Zarlex roared. Peace was always a lie. Back on Corella 7, repairs had begun. Human drones helped rebuild generators. Medical supplies were shared. Kids played again. The air smelled cleaner. Rocha stood by a glass window looking out at the dawn. The sky was orange. Birds were returning. Lyra walked up beside her. Are you leaving? She asked. Rocha looked at her. Soon. There are others out there who may need help. Will more humans come? Maybe, Rocha said. If they hear your signal, if they see what we saw. Lyra nodded slowly. I want to fight. I want to join. You already did, Rocha said. But if you really mean it, I can teach. Do more. Lyra's eyes lit up. Meanwhile, Cutter was scanning nearby space. Captain, the AI said. New message intercepted, encrypted, from unknown source. Play it, Rocha said. The message was short. This is Rilo Station. We're under siege. No escape. If you are truly human, we need you. Rocha's jaw tightened. Coordinates? 2 jumps away, Cutter replied. But we'd be entering Dominion-guarded space. Rocha turned to the screen where the survivors of Corella 7 were working and smiling. She whispered, If we don't go, no one will. Before leaving, Rocha held one last meeting with Aaron and Joran. The war isn't over, she said. This was only one battle, but now they know you're not weak. Now they fear you. What will you do? Joran asked. We'll go to Rylos. Help them like we helped you. And after that, Rocha looked up. We start something bigger. Aaron leaned forward. What do you mean? I mean this galaxy has been quiet too long. Everyone forgot what humans stand for, what we fight for. Maybe it's time to remind them. Joran grinned. You're starting a war. No, Rocha said softly. I'm starting a resistance. One's vengeance rising lifted from the ground like a beast waking from rest. Its engines lit the sky again. Children waved. Miners saluted. Defenders raised their fists. Rocha stood at the window watching the colony fade below. They'll survive now, she said. Cutter answered, yes, and they'll inspire others. As the ship entered orbit, a final message was sent out, bouncing, from relay to relay across trade routes and hidden paths. This is Captain Inez Rocha. The humans have not vanished. We are still here. If you are lost, if you are hunted, if you are afraid, send your call. We will answer. In the dark, others listened. A rebel on a mining moon, a smuggler hiding in asteroid belts, a forgotten station under siege. They heard the voice, and one by one they whispered, the humans are back. The galaxy was waking up. News of the Vengeance rising and its captain Inez Rocha spread like wildfire through space. Traders in shadowy stations, miners on remote asteroids, and rebels hidden in forgotten systems all whispered the same thing. Humans are back. On a small dusty moon called Carteris, a rebel leader named Vera Jail stared at the flickering holoscreen. The message from Corella 7 was clear. Help was arriving, and it was human. Vera's group had been fighting the Zark Dominion for years, mostly alone, always losing ground. She clenched her fists. Maybe this is the chance we need. Her second in command, Tarn, nodded. If the humans come here, we might finally push the Zark back. Vera stood up, determination shining in her eyes. Prepare our ships. We'll send a call for help. Meanwhile, aboard the Vengeance Rising, Captain Rocha and her crew plotted their next move. The ship had become more than a warship. It was a symbol, a spark of hope. Cutter, the ship's AI, scanned their next target. Rilo Station is under siege, Cutter reported. Heavy Zark presence, communications offline. Rocha sighed. Then we don't have time to waste. She called her officers together. We jump in, disrupt their lines, and rescue as many as we can. The crew nodded, ready for battle. The jump through fold space was rough. The stars twisted and stretched, and every passenger felt the heavy weight of uncertainty. When the Vengeance Rising emerged, the battle was loud and brutal. Zark fighters swarmed around Rilo Station, firing plasma and missiles. Human drones poured out of the ship's bays, engaging the enemy in fierce dogfights. On the ground, the station's defenders, ragged and desperate, saw the arrival of the humans as if from a legend. Rocha led a strike team down into the station's core. The corridors were dark and filled with smoke. Zark patrols lurked in every corner. We move fast, she whispered into the comms. Save who we can. We're ghosts to them. The team moved silently but struck hard. The human drones cleared paths, securing areas for evac. Suddenly, a loud explosion shook the hall. Zark reinforcements blocked their way. Rocha glanced at her team. Hold the line. We're not leaving anyone behind. Above the station, space battles raged. Zark capital ships fired heavy blasts, but the Vengeance Rising took every hit with a steady iron will. Cutter coordinated counterattacks. Enemy shield down to 30%. Push harder, Rocha ordered. The ship's railguns fired, tearing through enemy armor. The battle's tide was turning. Back inside, Aaron worked to restore power to critical systems. Every minute counted. He patched wires, reactivated systems, and fought against the station's failing technology. A Zark grenade blew out a nearby panel, sending sparks flying. Aaron ducked just in time. Lyra shouted, "Aaron! We need those life support systems back online." He wiped sweat from his brow. "Almost there." Outside, Vera's fleet jumped into the system. Her small group of rebel ships joined the fight, attacking Zark reinforcements. Rebel ships? Cutter noted. This could change everything. Rocha smiled. We're not alone anymore. Hours later, the Zark forces began to retreat. The station was battered but still standing. Survivors were evacuated onto the Vengeance Rising and Vera's ships. Rocha looked out the window at the stars. This is just the beginning, she said softly. Aaron nodded. Every fight, every rescue. It's all a step toward something bigger. In the shadows, Zarlex's anger burned hotter. How can one ship cause this much damage? His advisor whispered, The humans are more than machines, Commander. They fight with something we do not understand. Zarlex growled. Then we must learn fast, or be destroyed. Back on the Vengeance Rising, a new transmission arrived. It was a simple message. To all who hear this, the humans have returned. We will stand with you. We fight not for conquest, but for freedom. Rocha stared at the message. It's time, she said. Time to remind the galaxy who we are. The galaxy's quiet was gone forever. Wherever humans appeared, hope grew. And with it, resistance. Captain Inez Rocha sat in the command chair aboard the Vengeance Rising. Around her, the bridge buzzed with energy. New recruits, rebels, and survivors were gathering on the ship ready to fight. Her eyes scanned the stars on the main screen. The next target was clear. A fortress world called Vartek Prime, deep inside Zark territory. It was a brutal world. Its surface was scarred by wars long past, and it held a massive weapons factory. If the Zark kept it, they could build endless fleets. We take that factory, Rocha said. Cut off their supply. Show them they cannot hide. Meanwhile, on Vartek Prime, the Zark were preparing. High Commander Zarlex stood on a raised platform, overlooking the city. His sharp eyes flicked. Over hundreds of soldiers and machines ready for war. They bring humans? He growled. Then let us show them our strength. The Zark warriors roared in response, their weapons raised. Zarlex turned to his advisor. Prepare the defenses. No mercy. Back on the Vengeance Rising, the humans and rebels made plans. Aaron and Lyra worked side by side, fixing and modifying drones for battle. Joran trained new fighters, teaching them human tactics mixed with local skills. Rocha called a meeting. We fight smart, she said. We hit hard, but we protect the people. A young rebel named Kel raised his hand. Captain, what if the Zark trap us? We're small in numbers. Rocha smiled. We're not just fighting ships and soldiers, we're fighting hope. And hope is stronger than any weapon. The jump to Vartek Prime was tense. The ship trembled as it entered orbit. Sensors lit up. Zark fleets, defense turrets, and patrol drones. We're not alone, Cutter said calmly. Rocha stood, gripping the armrests. This will be the toughest fight yet. The battle began with explosions lighting the sky. Human drones flew alongside rebel fighters, dodging laser fire. The Vengeance Rising unleashed volleys of missiles and railgun blasts. On the ground, teams moved through ruined streets, disabling weapons and freeing prisoners. Aaron led a squad to sabotage the factory's power core. Keep moving, he whispered. We don't have much time. Suddenly, alarms blared. Zark reinforcements incoming, a voice shouted. The rebels pushed back with everything they had. Kel fired his plasma rifle, yelling, For freedom! Rocha ordered her pilots to focus. Fire on incoming Zark ships, the sky filled with streaks of light and booming explosions. Inside the factory, Aaron reached the core. He placed explosives, setting timers. Done, he said, catching his breath. Get out. Lyra shouted through comms. The team raced to escape as the core exploded in a huge fireball. The ground shook. Outside, Zark forces were breaking. Zarlex roared in frustration. Send everything! Destroy them! But the humans and rebels held firm. Joran led a final charge, pushing Zark forces back. As the battle ended, the sky cleared. The factory was destroyed. Zark ships retreated. Vartek Prime was free. For now. On the Vengeance Rising, the crew celebrated quietly. Rocha looked at the stars. This is just the start, she said. We will rise. Back in Zark space, fear spread among their leaders. The humans had returned, and they were not backing down.